Hi, we're back here from American Elgin today with a extraordinarily impressive and extremely rare version of the 30 joule Lord Elgin self-winding or automatic watch line that was marketed under the name Thin Line or Thin between about 1959 and 1963. This is part of a lineup of watches that was made in Elgin, Illinois at the famous Old Main plant, at one time the largest watchmaking facility in the world. And this particular version has a extremely rare and unique watch case, which is just absolutely gorgeous. You can see it has this kind of brush metal crossed with crossed brush design, Florentine lugs. So the lugs are at the top and the bottom of the watch, and they're kind of hidden lugs. They're underneath this almost sort of Art Deco influenced, very exuberant, kind of radiating, kind of almost like a comet design. It's a bit reminiscent of some of the things that you see that were made in 1933 in connection with the World's Fair in Chicago. And of course, Elgin National Watch Company is about 40 miles, or Elgin, Illinois is about 40 miles outside of Chicago. And these were made obviously 30 plus years later around 1960. But nonetheless, it does have, in my opinion, has some kind of certainly an Art Deco influence, or maybe you can call it a space age influence if you think of the comet metaphor. This was during the space race. Nonetheless, it is really a very impressive watch, and it is very rare. There's only been I've only been able to locate one other photo of this watch anywhere online. We have no information on what the model name is. In other words, some of these watches in this 30 joule line, self-winding line, they have names like Model A, Model B, Model C, and so on. This one, we don't know whether it has any kind of a model letter that goes with it. The case was made by a maker of high-end watch cases called Jonell, Jonell. You can see the J with the arrow. It's solid 14 karat gold. It's a one-piece case, meaning that it opens up from the front. And this is the manufacturer's serial number. You can see the back of these hooded lugs. Very impressive and excessively rare. This is just one that does not come up at all at auction or on eBay or elsewhere. It just is an extremely rare watch, of course, American made. As we talked about, Elgin made the only full rotor automatic watches ever designed and made in the United States. Now, I'm going to talk for a minute about what this means when we say full rotor. So this is an example from another watch. This is an example of Elgin's the 760 movement. So it says Elgin 760 30 joules USA with 6 adjustments. This is from obviously a different watch. And the rotor, talk about full rotor, the rotor is this kind of half moon shape up here that says Elgin. And when you wear the watch, it spins around in a 360-degree rotation, and it winds the watch. So you do not need to wind it using the crown, this little knob here on the left in this case. These movements were very impressive for their time. Not only were they the first and only full rotor automatic watches ever made by any U.S. company, they were considered to be a really impressive achievement of watchmaking. And I will give you 2 quotes here. First, we'll start with, these are from Dr. Roland Ranft. So Roland Ranft was, he was not an American guy. He was not a biased American talking about an American company. He was actually a German, and he was a doctorate, and he was arguably the world's leading expert on watch movements. He built a database called the Ranft database, and unfortunately he passed away in 2023. But that was the largest watch movement database in the world, and he is or was considered to be probably one of the top experts in the world, if not the top expert in the world on watch movements. So let's see what he said about this 760 movement that Elgin made. He said the Elgin 760 and 761, the 760 is the movement we're talking about at the moment with this 30 joule watch. The 761 is a related movement that was used with the 27 joule version of this watch that was made, or of this line that was made for the Elgin brand. So the 760 is 30 joule, that was for Lord Elgin. 761 was 27 joule for Elgin, and not Lord Elgin. Anyway, these two, according to Dr. Ranft, they collected the best design features available at the time, and then he walks through why he considers those are the best design features. And when he talks about regulation of time accuracy, he notes that this design uses a more sophisticated approach to regulating time accuracy than the humble designs from Patek Philippe and Rolex. Patek Philippe and Rolex, of course, being very, very high-end watchmakers. And these quotes came from, he was a registered user on different watch forums. One of these quotes came from the Watch You Seek forum in 2009, the other from the NAWCC forum in 2012. And now we'll talk about one other quote from him that sort of summarizes what he thought about. And apparently he owned, from what I read, he actually owned one of these watches. So he wasn't just writing in the abstract, he actually was an owner of one of these Elgin automatics. And so he writes, "The Elgins belong to the most interesting automatic movements, for my opinion. They simply have the best relation between precision and durability on the one hand and low production effort on the other." And he talks about some other facts about these watches. When he says low production effort, he means, what he's talking about is the number of parts in the watch, the efficiency of producing it. That's what he's talking about. Low production effort doesn't mean that they didn't put an effort into producing them. It means that it didn't require as many parts as some other automatic watches because they tried to streamline the design, which he thought was an impressive attribute. So that's what Dr. Ranft said about these watches, the 760, of which the current watch we're talking about is really a glorious example. So we'll bring the watch back, sort of the star of the show. Now we've talked about the inside of the watch, sort of the engine of the watch. We can admire the case again. Now, interestingly, as I mentioned, we do not know what model letter, if any, this watch belonged to, and that is sort of my fault because I have not taken the watch apart to figure it out. And with the watch this immaculate, and it's a one-piece case, so it's taking it apart is a bit of work. It's at the moment I don't think it's worth doing. At some point, if it gets serviced, if needed, we will take it apart. And the way that we find out the case number in these watches is here on the case, on the inside of the case back. So on the inside of the watch, if we were to take the whole watch apart and like the other side of this, the back, but on the inside of it, there would be a 4-digit number, and that would be the case number. So it would say Case and Time Elgin National Watch Company, and it would say Jonell Watch Case Company. That's the company that made this gold medal case, 14 karat solid gold, and then there'd be a 4-digit number. Now we don't know that number. I think based on the photos I've seen of the other watches, of the one other watch of this type that I've ever seen. Somebody had a photo of it that was posted years ago, and it could be case 8401, but that's not definitive. We haven't confirmed that. So if it's ever confirmed, we'll update the website on that point. But at the moment, it's not confirmed, so we can just admire the watch for what it is, and noting that we don't have all the details, all the information on this thing quite yet. If you'd like to find out more about this watch and all of the other 27 and 30 jewel self-winding watches, the only line of fully automatic, full rotor automatic watches ever designed and made in the US, please visit us on AmericanElgin.com and also on Instagram at American Elgin. Thanks very much.